Hi guys, my name is Sage, and today I'm going to be talking to you about dysfunction in the brain. I first wanted to start out by showing you my ID with my name. So I first wanted to start out by talking about Adrian Rain. I thought this was pretty cool just because they show that deficits localized in the prefrontal cortex may be related to violence. So this means basically that in your brain, if you showed like lower activity in your prefrontal cortex, you were more likely to have a violent like past, or there was factors showing that you could be violent in the future, maybe causing a criminal attack or robbing a bank, or physical violence itself. They showed this by doing PET scans on 22 murders. They showed much lower levels of glucose uptake levels in their prefrontal cortex. So that basically just shows that people who don't have as active as a prefrontal cortex as others are more likely to be violent, or everything like that. They also showed that frontal damage is associated with impulsivity, lack of tact, inability to modify and inhibit behavior appropriately, and poor social judgment. This could also lead to factors that end up ruining your life, such as failure in school, inability to hold a relationship. It may predispose somebody to having a more criminal or violent way in life. Just about like the way that they go about things could be more violent or determined than others, which I thought was kind of interesting because, the brain, I'm a psychology major, so the brain is like this super interesting thing that nobody has like 100% answers on yet. So I just thought that, this was a great topic for me to do. Another thing that I want to talk about is neurocriminology. This is this perspective that examines the neurological links between an organism, social factors, and criminal links. So one thing that we talk about a lot is social and cultural influences in a person and how that could inhibit them to commit a crime later on in life. In many of my discussions before, I've given examples such as a person at a grocery store. They could be going into that grocery store thinking that they're going to steal food for their family so that they can put dinner on the table because they don't have enough money to do so. But others may see their morals as, insufficient, or just wrong, just because they're stealing. While those people, the other people that are there are, spending their own hard-earned money on the food so that they can put dinner on the table for their family. This could cause a huge butterfly effect in the community that the grocery store is in, because it could affect everybody in the end, So another thing is other brain mechanisms involved in violence. When I was reading this chapter, I kind of had like I had pre-knowledge of this topic, so dysfunction in the brain. But what I didn't know was that some allergic reactions in foods, like in common foods such as milk, citrus fruit, corn, wheat, eggs, and chocolate, they are said to cause aggression by leading to swelling in the brain and the brainstem that causes a reduction of morality. It could also lead the person to be in a situation which could support impulse behavior or immoral behavior. So I thought that was super interesting. Another thing was mirror cells, which are associated with, mirror cells are basically in your brain, and you basically use them to feel empathy for others. So lack of mirror cells in someone's brain could also cause lack of empathy, which could lead a person to not feel anything about what they're doing to other people, so they couldn't feel bad about it, or, so they would just do it anyway. Another thing that could be included in violence or involved in violence would be physical injuries, emotional trauma, or long-term exposure to stress. Some people who are exposed to stress daily and every day, all day, they have trouble like being able to get through that without the help or reaching out for the help that they need. So it just causes them to be in this state of uncertainty, as well as, just like not knowing if what they are doing is right or not. Another thing that is kind of like interesting to talk about, and also kind of goes with the psychology factor of this topic, would be neuroplasticity. This is when the brain alters itself when it is in like a stressful, or if it has gone through like an injury, the brain can like remake itself to function totally differently, which would explain why a person going through like a stressful or, big time in their life could like re-alter their brain and function totally differently, allowing them to have a totally different mindset in their entire life. In 2011, researchers at the University of College London found that those who had been physically abused by caregivers had expanded a change in their amygdala and anterior insula, the region of the brain that deals with, trauma and stress. In 2013, there was a study done on 93 prisoners right before they were released to assess impulsivity and inventory control. This shows that the prisoners who were found to have less activity in the anterior cingulate cortex, which is located in the front of your brain, where I also want to say that in the frontal cortex, that's where your thought processes go down. That's where your situation responses happen. That's like your personality part of your brain. This were about twice as likely to offend over the next 4 years compared to those who showed more activity in their anterior cingulate cortex. So this just kind of shows that, lack of certain brain activity in certain places could cause violence and, aggression, and cause you to have like a greater probability of having a criminal, history in the future. So, recently, researchers have been working on understanding embedding, or the process by which social experience change neural circuitry in the brain. So this would also be another instance of neuroplasticity, and how stressors or injuries or, big things that happen in your life cause your brain to react differently to situations in the future. This could cause, less activity in your mirror cells, which could cause, again, a lack of empathy for others, which could then allow you to, commit crimes, kill people, everything like that, steal. So I just really think that this is a super interesting part of like the whole criminal face. And, this I think has more basis because there have been more trials and studies done. And there's like facts, like hard facts that can prove that, all of this stuff does in fact affect people and in their criminal history and their past and everything like that. So thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.